Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop and part 2 of my BendPak 2-post lift install. In this section, what we're going to do is we're going to get it off the truck. I'm going to take you guys through how I got it in here, how I unpackaged it. It's kind of self-explanatory, but you guys will get to see, what all comes with it and what I thought of the ordering process, let's say, and where I ordered it from and what I paid and things like that. With that, here comes the truck. So this is how you get it from BendPak. It's all saran wrapped up and strapped up and cardboarded up, the whole 9 yards. They got looks like fabricated ends that they make in-house or something for packaging only that you're gonna have to remove and get rid of. One thing I did notice, I don't know if I'll be able to get down here and show you guys this, but from them going in and out all the time, the truck driver said that's how they move them around the freight yard as well, how we pulled it out of the truck. And you can see there's some pretty significant scratches on the bottom of this thing right out of the box. Hopefully they're not too visible. If they are, I'm gonna be getting some touch-up paint or something, because that's kind of ridiculous in my mind for $3,000 that it comes from the factory with, giant scratches and gouges. And we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's not going to keep it from working, so we'll keep plugging away at it. Here's more damage I found. My foam padding for the top rail that's supposed to come in contact with the vehicle when the lift is raised all the way up to shut the lift off. Yeah, that's damaged. I'm going to have to see about possibly getting a new foam pad and stuff. Like I said, cross that bridge when we get there. I figured I'd bring this up as well. They say you're supposed to use a shoring board underneath, between the forks and the lift when you lift it. Does BendPak consciously think that somebody at the freight yard is going to take the time to sit there and get a board out, stuff it underneath between their forks every time they go to move this thing? That's just stupid. That shoring board needs to be a part of their whole package here, because obviously the way they're doing things isn't really working. Here, I want to give you guys a shot of this. Basically what this says is when I sign off on that freight bill, I'm responsible for all the damage that is on the lift. Here's my thing. Even if I send it back, you know, if I go and order another one because this one's scratched up, the next one that I get is just going to be just as scratched up as this one is. So in my mind, it's easier just to deal with it. I'll paint the freaking thing if I have to, but I really don't want to. But if it comes to that, well, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I did find some more damage when I continued unpacking. I got some missing paint there. This door stop is pretty well worn. That's all I can find right now, but you know, when I find more, I'm sure I will document it and show you guys. Thinking how I want to go about getting this apart. They have the lift arms inside the columns, and you cannot lift them straight out. You may be able to, but I'm only one person, and not a very big one at that. Alright, I'm going to clean this up and trying to tack this in a different way. Apparently something's going to have to change here because I can't just unbolt it. I'm going to have to lift it up and set it on some 4x4s or shore it up somehow and then pull everything off and drop the cradle off each end. I'm going to clean up first. I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Alright, so this is my rig to try and get this thing, or get the crate or frame or whatever you want to call it, the shipping frame, off of this thing. I've got two straps that I know what they're used for. They're normally used for lifting transformers on the telephone poles. I figured transformers 400 or 500 pounds, so I'm going to use two of them just to be somewhat safe. My lifting eye on my hoist wasn't high enough, so that's why the chain's here, but I've got two cinder blocks and a couple boards there to put underneath this thing to hold the end up while I get the other end unbolted. So we'll see what happens. So, before everybody in the comments starts freaking the hell out about how I'm putting cinder blocks underneath here and you're never supposed to put cinder blocks underneath anything to support it, well, the reality of the situation is that's holding up your house. And I also know that yes, cinder blocks can fail. But if you notice the ways they typically fail, it's when they're set like this. That's not how they're installed typically for load bearing when you're building a foundation. I don't know of any foundation that has 2 by 3 inch holes in it. They're supposed to be like this, and if you notice, That's how I have them installed here. I'm not saying it's safe. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it. I'm not saying it's the right ideal way to do it. It's the way I did it. Okay. Hydraulic hose. Hydraulic hose. Safety cable. No idea. Oh, you know what? That's the limit switch for the overhead. And a couple hydraulic fittings, E-clips. Equalizer cable. Set this off to the side. Power cable. Lock mechanism. The truck adapters. The screw pads. They're supposed to be pretty fancy, I don't know. Don't really screw. Huh. Figure it out later. Other half of the lock mechanism. Couple studs. Hydraulic hose. Empty bag. I assume that's where the E-clips were. They're kind of loose in there. Short length of hydraulic hose. The floor legs. Like a rubber isolator plate for something. Another E-clip, flip around in there. Miscellaneous hydraulic fittings, hardware, nuts, bolts, springs, clips. And the manual. What I'm actually supposed to be doing. So that's trash. There's nothing left in there. This is the power unit. Junk hardware from the frame, seat, sign for. we're nowhere near that point, but I figured I would show you guys what all is comes with it. These are the storage for the truck adapters. Actually has a nice finish on it. It's more than what I can say about the rest of it, but we'll see. Also, I already opened these up. These are the cover plates for the locks, for the lock mechanism. Alright guys, so I just took you through what all comes with it, how it comes packaged, how you need to get it off the truck. I was fortunate in my case. My next door neighbor does landscaping. That was his machine. I've done some car work for him, so he kind of owed me, but just be prepared. Not every time you order this, you're going to have the opportunity to have a truck with a lift gate on it. So keep in mind, each column weighs 500 pounds, and all of the arms and the hardware and everything is stashed down inside, so you would have to physically unpack everything to even have a remote chance of lifting it out with about 3 people if you're going to try and do this by hand. I ordered this one through Summit Racing just because I live fairly close to Summit Racing, and I figured if I had any issues, it would be easier to take care of there rather than going through, Northern Tool or someplace like that, because then at least I have a physical person that I can go talk with. The one thing I do wish was different about the transaction I had with them. So this whole setup that you see here that I've been showing you guys with tax was $3,200. It's the 10,000 pound asymmetric low profile lift. And now bear in mind, I paid, like I said, $3,200 with tax. I didn't even get a tracking number, which to me is ridiculous. I ordered this June 25th, and so it kind of got screwed up because of the 4th of July holiday or whatever, but I can order, a $5 item off of Amazon and get tracking. But I order a $3,200 2-post lift, and they can't. I mean, now bear in mind, Summit didn't have this in stock. It came directly from BendPak, so I'm sure it's not 100% Summit Racing's fault, but it's kind of screwed up in my mind that you can pay that much money for something and have no idea where it is. I'm sure if there was an issue, Summit Racing would stand behind it and be able to track it down, but as a consumer, somebody that's looking forward to, obviously getting this thing, you want to have a tracking number just so you know where it's at, just for peace of mind, I guess. But that's basically it, guys. I'm going to take you through how to start putting this thing together. I've shown you all the parts and pieces and how it comes on the truck and what you need to get it off the truck and what you need to uncrate the thing. I'm sure if you had a couple guys, or more than a couple guys, probably 6 or 8, or you knew ahead of time that you needed to put that thing up on cinder blocks to get the ends of the crates off, you could handle that. But I didn't know ahead of time, so luckily, I had my engine hoist, so I just tied it up to the engine hoist and I had no issue. Once I figured out, how the heck to rig it up, and so it wasn't gonna kill me, but we'll go from there. Guys, I had another point that I wanted to bring up that after I thought about how everything with this unboxing and delivery transpired, that I kind of wanted to add. If you own an engine hoist and you have the opportunity to get a truck with a lift gate, that may be a good option for you. You can always get the lift into the driveway, unbox it in the driveway as much as possible, and then roll the individual pieces using the engine lift. So like roll the column and hook the columns up to the engine lift, and roll them up. If you got a concrete driveway or good condition asphalt or something like that, just roll it up the driveway on the engine lift to wherever you need it, set it down, go back for the other pieces, and just transfer it back and forth. And it may take a little bit longer, but like I said, professional installs without concrete work is $500 to $800. So you could spend $200 on an engine hoist and justify the expense per se. Also guys, I will put a link in the description for an engine hoist if you don't have one, and lifting straps if you don't have those as well. They're pretty much required to be able to move this thing around unless you have a lot of people around, so something worth looking into. So stay tuned for part 3. If you guys liked the video, hit like. If you didn't like it, hit dislike. But if you hit dislike and you think this video is crap, feel free to tell us in the comments, because this is the internet and that's pretty much what they're for. Thanks for watching, guys.